You are listening to the Hammersy Brothers e-commerce podcast. Like what you hear and want to take the shortcut on your e-commerce growth? Join hundreds of brands that work with us and head over to joinhb.com. That's joinhb.com and see how we can help you further. Join our members and smash your targets and unlock the profits within your e-commerce site. Good morning, Ian. How are you?
Yeah, Mark. Well, I am good. How are you?
I'm all right. Yes. Just another podcast. So we just finished the 5 types of e-commerce last week, didn't we? Which we're talking through the different types of e-commerce, and so I thought it's quite nice for us, and I think it's the audience is just to break things down into 5s or 4s or different things like that. So what we thought we would do would be now to focus on. So now you know what kind of business you are, type of business you are. So you're giving an idea of where to focus on and what kind of things to do based on the business type. We now wanted to focus on the offers. So every business needs various offers within the business. And I think the mistake sometimes people make with offers is they think, oh, I've just got to have like a 20% off or a discount, all that stuff. We're not really talking just about discounting. We're talking about your offer, your offering to your different segments.
Yeah, it's your offering, I think.
Yeah,
isn't it?
Yeah,
you're offering. We're saying that what is your mechanism for recruiting new customers, for example? You know, how are you doing it? Like, what's your model? You know, what ads are you running? To what pages? To what bundle? To what starter kit? To what pack? What's the deal? You know,
how does it happen?
It's the thing.
How does
it's
it
the
happen?
whole.
Yeah,
it's the whole encompassing part of it. Yeah, is it? Yeah. So when you say the word offer, we use it as a general word for say what's the strategy for getting new customers to buy something.
Because I'd say,
for example,
like Hermes bags, for example, like they've got an offer. Their offer is a very expensive bag that you can only buy if you buy other stuff, and you know those only people can afford it, and exclusivity, and they only make a few of them, and all that kind of stuff. It's an offering. Anyway. So what we want to cover over the next few weeks is we're going to cover the 5 offers of e-commerce, the 5 essential offers of e-commerce. So we're just going to go briefly through them today and talk about them so you get an idea of what those offers are, and then we'll do a podcast specifically on each one, going into a lot more detail about each one. So this podcast will give you an overview of those essential offers that you need to have in your business so you can start thinking about them, and we'll talk about why they're important. So do you want to introduce us to the 5, Ian? And we'll go through them.
Yeah, and I'll try and put a bit of context about why we're separating them out. But yeah, the 5 are what's your recruitment offer or strategy? What's your second sale offer or strategy? What's your general retention offer or strategy? What's your peak offer? So any seasonal elements to it. So what's your seasonal strategy, your peak offer? And then the 5th one is reactivation, which is your lapsed customers. So this is if they haven't bought. So just go through those 5 again. So it's the recruitment, first time. So when we say recruitment, we need new customers. So recruitment of new customers. So what's your new customer recruitment strategy? What's your second sale? So this is for people who are new to buy again, second time. What's your general retention, which is kind of like your normal campaign stuff. What's your peak offer? So it might be Black Friday, it might be your Valentine's Day, it might be Easter, Father's Day, key events for your industry, or creating one. And then what's your reactivation? And the reason, so there's 5 there. Got it? Recruitment, second sale, general retention, peak offers, reactivation. And the reason we separate it into 5 is because often e-commerce businesses that are starting out, or the mistake we find people making is that they merge all these into one, and they don't have a defined offer architecture for each of the fives. There's just this is just generally what we do, and they're treating. And when you hear customers, you'll hear people talking about segmentation, and we should be sending these things to, certain customers should be getting this. And it's misunderstood often what people mean by that. And when people think about segmentation, they think, well, okay, if you've bought the blue pair of trousers, we're going to sell you the yellow jumper. Or if you've bought the yellow jumper, we're going to sell you the blue trousers. And that's really, I think, where most people's definition of kind of how you treat customers different. That's what they think. They're thinking about it like that, but that's not powerful, and it's sometimes really tricky and very hard to understand. But if you start by thinking about how you're going to communicate around those 5 points, because that's actually how you make money. That's actually how you drive and change the maths. And so that's where I spend a lot of time in the level 2 program that we run, talking about these 5, and I want to make sure that the businesses that I work with have a clear plan for each of the 5.
So which of those offers,
recruitment?
Which of those offers would you say you spend the most time on and is the most powerful?
Well, it depends. It depends. If it's a business that we're aggressively growing, you can't. There's no point having a second sales strategy, a retention strategy, a reactivation strategy if you don't have any new customers coming through. So undoubtedly, in order for a customer to become an existing customer and to be able to retain them and get them to buy something else, you have to find them in the first place. But what can be really interesting is how, if you get to a certain size, I would say that if you're doing 0 to 5 million, you're probably focusing more on the recruitment of new customers, right? But when you get to a certain size, if you factor on or add on the retention, which is lifetime customer value. So we're talking really about lifetime for all the 5. The first one is the new customers. The rest of them are all about lifetime customer value. That's that. So if you add on the lifetime customer value to these businesses, guess what? You've changed the maths, and you can afford to recruit much more aggressively. So we are really trying to allow us to either, if you think, our model, our Hammers Brothers model, which is get the spend right, optimize spend, improve revenue per visitor, average order value conversion rate, and then look at margin and lifetime customer value. All those things allow you to spend more on ads, and it just goes around in circles. And really, this is the how we do the lifetime customer value. How do you improve lifetime customer value? Through focusing on a key strategy of these 2, 3, 4, 5.
So I think they're in the right order,
impacts
actually.
Your recruitment.
They're in the right order, actually. Well, that's the order you would work on them. If you were a new business, you like having a good recruitment offer allows the second sale offer to become important. If you're getting a second sale, then you need a general retention offer to actually get people to buy over and over again. If you've got lots of customers coming in and they're buying, then your peak offer is where you make your profit, like a big profit, like Black Friday, those kind of places. But so everything leads to the next offer, and then number 5 is this leaky bucket, isn't it? It's like, well, there's people dropping out the bucket at the end. Can we try and get them back? So ultimately, like you said before, like take Betting Envy for example. Like we didn't even care about number 3, 4, 5 until we were doing $1 million or so a year. It was all about the recruitment and then trying to get them to buy again. That was it. And then really the peak offer, like the Black Friday, was, like it's hard to mess up, isn't it? Like if you've got customers and they're buying and they like your product, putting out an offer at Black Friday, you're going to get good sales. Like it's not. I mean, obviously there's lots you can do.
I think just go back to your point you mentioned there about, when we were doing, the first 1 million of Betting Envy, like if we'd spent any time on getting the second sale or improving the retention strategy, yeah, we would have taken our eye off the prize, and that was firmly to recruit new customers. It wouldn't have had any effect. It's a bit like it's like when somebody comes, you're looking at your Klaviyo flows, your email flows, and they go, I'm going to optimize all your flows, and they're going to spend 6 months trying to optimize your flows, and then at the end of it, they go, oh, we probably should increase the number of emails that we capture. Because we've done all the work on the flows, but it's not made any difference to revenue. Why? Because you haven't got any customers going in the bloody flows in the first place. So you have to focus on...
Yeah. When we started Betting Envy, we didn't even start emails right at the beginning. I know that seems crazy, but we were just testing different offers on the landing page and we knew it was going to be, at the beginning, it was going to be a Google Ads play. So it was literally Google Ads, landing page, conversion rate. Like, it was completely raw like that. And that was really the first thing you had to get in place, was like, well, what kind of price do we need to go at? What kind of first time custom offer do we need to have? What's it going to look like? And then once we were close to the kind of ROAS, we could then do the other things.
Sorry, I overspoke you then.
It's all right. We're on the other side of the planet.
Just drifting off for what you were saying. Just find it, monotonous voice sends me to sleep.
You need to have a Red Bull.
What I was saying was, if you look back at some of the big successes that we've had with businesses that we've scaled. So let's talk about GSF Car Parts, Brook Taverner, Naked Wines. We did it because of the offer that we went out to the market with. And again, using the word offer as a collective word for the whole way we found new customers, how we communicated it, how we pushed the perception of the offer, what it was. And all of those successes, and they're businesses that are now doing, hundreds of millions of online revenue. Each one of those focused on the right offer to recruit new customers in, and then the right offer to get them to buy again. It was fundamental. It's a bit like, I'm trying to think of the right analogy, but it was such an integral part to the whole business. It was equivalent of not doing this. It's like it's the foundational core of some of the best successes that we've had. And it's equivalent of saying, if you're trying to build a house and you are faffing around trying to look at what color you should paint the door handles, but you haven't built the foundations properly, it would be ridiculous. And that's often what happens, that people miss this. It's not just something you add on. It's the fundamental foundations of the whole e-commerce business, is how we are going to present that new customer recruitment offer. What products, what offer, what average order value, what ad channels, how we get it's absolutely core. It's not something that you can just gloss over. And honestly, if you look back and think about the successes that we've had over the 25 years, not one has been a success. When I'm talking about going from 0 to 10 to 20 to 50 million, not one of them has done it through some shiny buzz like mobile speed. That's never been any. No one's ever turned around to me and gone, do you know what? How I got it to 25 million? Because I made the website faster, or because of SEO, or because I got this. Oh God, what's it bloody called? When they decouple the website.
We've got a headless. No, never. No one has ever said. They look back and they go, it's because of these things. They turn around, they say it's because I got my new customer recruitment strategy right, and I did that, and then I worked on my retention and my second sale, and I got my lifetime customer value right, and then I put those two things together,
and then I could really ramp it up. It's always that.
This is
where it
also the other story we hear on top of that is that they simplified their e-commerce site. It's like we were selling all these products, and we just focused on these categories, and we did these really well. We had and then we got that right, and then we took off. And I think that simplification, core channel, core recruitment offers, second sale offers, general retention offers, peak, pushing your peaks harder. That's really the story that you hear over and over again. We got really, really good at selling these types of products to the market, and we understood it, and we came to the market with a really, really good offering, and we scaled to high numbers. And I think the reason people get confused is because, and I see this a lot actually, is that they see big companies, or they've worked at corporates, and they go, oh, big company, a corporate does things like this, so I need to do things like that. And like, I'll see this even in the team structure. They'll get to a certain size and they'll go, oh, maybe we should have an executive director. Let's put some executive director in, and let's do this, and let corporates do that. And it's like, well, that doesn't make sense. Like, just because corporates, if you've ever worked with a corporate, like directly, you'll know that they're the most difficult to move, difficult to do, slow. Inefficient, slow. And so, like, the last thing you want to do is give up your nimbleness before you have to. The reason the corporates are bloated is because they've got to have all those kind of, filing history and listed companies and all that kind of stuff. There's so much oversight on them that it means they've got to do everything very, very slowly. So I think I've got a little bit off tack, but basically what I'm saying is that you can simplify your small e-commerce business because you're small and nimble. You keep it as simple as possible for as long as you can, and you can scale much, much faster into that market, because if you're coming up against incumbents who are corporates, they can't react to things as quickly as you, and their cost structures are way, way higher often. And so you've got to be...
I think you're
disruptive.
saying, and if you go back to the core of what we've been teaching for all these years we've been doing it, really the message really is actually keeping things simple and cutting through the bullshit. And I think what can happen, the mistake people can make, particularly with their businesses, they can add too many products. Sometimes adding products is great. It's really great. You get to a point where it can really help the average order value. Other times it can cause an absolute logistical cash flow nightmare. And I've seen it. You see businesses fail. They take too much stock, too many SKUs. They go too broad. They don't have any depth of stock. They have no depth of inventory. They have lots of products but spread it very thinly. You can't. Can't
and
scale.
Also, the other thing I noticed is that businesses come to us with, let's say they're doing $100,000 a month, right, or £100,000. We'll see lots of businesses at that level, and their range of fixed costs and the range of staff in the business is massively different. Some will have 2, some will have 1, some will have 10. Like, it's completely random of how many staff that they have. They just kind of feel basically, oh, I should have this many staff, and so that's what I've got. And so, again, this is kind of out of spec of the offers, but it's like keeping things simple so you can have simple offers is a real key.
You've got to understand what the right financial ratio should be, and the workshop that we do called Know Thy Numbers in the program.
I think it's Know Your Numbers.
Everybody should go and watch that.
Know Thy Numbers. That sounds a little bit like we're religious.
We're English, isn't it? Know your numbers.
Yeah,
but it's like, and it tells you what the ratios of fixed costs, variable costs, advertising costs should be at different levels. If everybody should be watching that. If nobody's watched that, go and watch that, because it tells you what the fixed cost should be based on certain journeys of the business. And the other thing, of course, that you need to know in order to do this is you have to know what you should be recruiting a customer for and what they're worth. If you don't know that, that's another workshop that you need to go and watch. Like, we're assuming people know this, but if you don't know what your level of cost of acquisition should be, and you don't know how aggressive you can be with your ads, you can't scale. So there's some like fundamental core truths that you've got to really wake up to, and once you've got it, then obviously you kind of going with the blinkers off. You can see, oh my God, this now it's so simple. Once you've got the core right, you know your numbers, you know your cost structure, you know how many new customers you need to recruit, you know at what level, you know your CAC, you know your lifetime customer value. Fucking obvious. It's so obviously simple, but we're all looking at the shiny stuff. What's GEO AI doing? Ooh, let's go and look at that. Maybe that's gonna be the answer.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
It isn't.
One thing I would say is that this series of podcasts on offers, we've done some basic stuff on offer architecture in the podcast. So if you've not watched any of that, go and watch that. Obviously, the more advanced stuff is in the program. If you're in the program, go and do the latest workshop on offer architecture. Honestly, if you've got a basic offer and you take the offer architecture stuff that we teach in that program, you can turn an average offer into a great offer just by doing the Hammersley Brothers three legs of an offer architecture stool. Like it's super simple stuff, but it just takes the offer that much higher. Like I'll walk down the high street and I'll see people with these offers, 20% off, and I'm like, if you just did 2 extra things to that offer, you'd have twice the business today. Like it's so fundamental, so easy, and so you can do it. So if you either find that in the podcast, if you're on our programs, go and do the more advanced stuff because it goes into a lot more detail, a lot more examples. But that's really good primer for what we're going to talk about, because how you present the offer, how you communicate the offer is as much as actually coming up with the offer is as important as the offer. So how you theme it, how you package it, how you position it is really, really important. So I'd go and I could do a little bit of homework if you're interested in actually, like getting these things working. Then we put a lot of information out there already on that kind of stuff. So I think we'll probably finish there. Next podcast, we'll go into a much more detail on the recruitment offer, which is obviously we've got a lot to talk about. Whether we'll get that done in one podcast, I'm not sure, but that's a real key podcast. So we'll see you on the second series.
Cool. Look forward to that.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. First
Cheers.
series. This was just the intro.
This is the intro. Yeah. So good. Okay. Bye.
Thanks, Mark.